सब लोगों को नमस्कार. I am very happy to be amongst you in this video uh, through video. I am actually grateful to Dr. Chandrasekhar Murumkar for inviting me um, to give a keynote address in this particular seminar on advances in botany. Uh, this is an international, 22nd May was International Biodiversity Day, and this decade is declared as the International Biodiversity Conservation Decade. Uh, when the Earth was formed, something like 454 or 458 crores of years ago, there is a dispute amongst the scientists what is the exact age of Earth, and the difference is around 4 crores of years. Don't get surprised because even individuals like us have sometimes dispute about their birth years and birth dates, and our lifespan is only 80 years, and we are talking of Earth whose lifespan is something like as on today is something like 450 plus crores of years. So when the Earth was formed, after it became cool and ready for supporting the life, uh, around 410 crores of years ago, the first life was formed. And this first life was in the form of very, very small, ultra microscopic, you can call it as viruses or archaebacteria or bacteria, as slowly they started evolving. For almost first 200 crores of years, there was a domination of these protists, these microscopic or ultra microscopic organisms on the earth. They are the Adimanovs, I mean Adivasis of this earth, not we. We have come only say 10,000 years ago. Um, this earth is full of diverse materials, diverse lives, diverse environments. If you go to poles, if you go to equator, if you go to the something like New Zealand, you go something like somewhere like mm, Madagascar, you will find the varying types of environments are present there. And there are lives which are suited for those environments. The, this has not happened in one day. There were a good number of periods where biodiversity flourished. There were a good number of periods when the biodiversity got extinct. There were five periods, or rather five such eras where pralaya happened. And during these five pralayas, there were a lot of extinctions had happened. You will be surprised to know that there were 500 crores of lives, I mean, different species on this earth at one time, something like 50 crores of years ago, during the Cambrian evolution or Cambrian radiation explosion happened. That time, the suddenly biodiversity flourished on this earth. A lot of mutations, phyla came into existence, large plants came into existence, dinosaurs came into existence, huge trees like banyan trees or even bigger than that, they came into existence. And then there was a period of another pralay, something like 50 crores of years ago, or that happened for almost 10 crores of years. And the surprisingly, 99% of the biodiversity was lost. As on today, we have got something like 10 to 14 millions of something like uh, uh, almost 1 crore species are still present on this earth. And surprisingly, we only know 90% of that. I'm sorry, we only know about 5 to 10% of that. There is still huge uh, diversity which human being is not aware. And we will prefer that we spend our time, some of us, especially the botanist, the zoologist, the microbiologist, we spend more time of our life, go beyond all of our duties, and try to understand this biodiversity. You know, Samartha Ramdas Swami had beautifully mentioned the biodiversity in his Das book. What he writes there is Sapta Kanchuka Brahmanda. सप्तकंचुक ब्रह्मांड त्यात सप्तकंचुक पिंड कंचुक मीन्स लेयर सप्तकंचुक ब्रह्मांड त्यात सप्तकंचुक पिंड त्या पिंडांमध्ये उदंड प्राणी असती त्या अ, अ, त्या पिंडांमध्ये उदंड प्राणी असती 400 years ago Sant Ramdas, without any specific knowledge or specific information about these organisms, how beautifully he has described. In his Dasbodh, in Samas 15, Dashak 8, he has written Sukshmajiv Nirupan. And in this Sukshmajiv, he has written there are organisms which are not visible to your eyes. And this microbial diversity was not only known to Ramdas, it was also known to Sant Gyaneshwar. It was also beautifully described in Gita. And that's where my another suggestion to the intellectual crowd which is sitting in front of me for this particular seminar is that we have to learn this. We have to read between the lines of these granthas which have been written by Sant Jnaneshwar, Sant Ramdas, Sant Tukaram. Understand the science in that. There is plenty of science in these uh, books. I call them as textbooks. These should be the textbooks in your colleges. And these textbooks will give you such a vast knowledge. Only we should have that ability to read between the lines and ability to read between the letters and ability to read between the punctuation marks. In fact, many of my technological developments which I did, I got the inspiration from such books only. From Dasbodh is my one of the best gurus, along with my mother, along with my parents, and along with my teachers in the school, Dasbodh and Jnaneshwari. These are my two gurus who have helped me a lot in last 45 or 50 years of my career. So 40 years I spent in Bhava Atomic Research Center. In that, I learned a lot. This microbial biodiversity, before going to the microbial diversity, I will like you to tell you that today the curve of biodiversity loss is really exponentially increasing. You know that coronavirus is exponentially increasing. And all the lockdowns, all the efforts have been done to bend this curve and make it as flat as possible. I have a sincere request. This loss of biodiversity, this curve also we have to flatten. We have to make this flattening of this biodiversity curve with the help of knowledgeable people like you. Uh, there are there is a great need to understand this loss, why they are becoming extinct, and how as a uh, intellectual animal or intellectual we can't call we are animals but intellectual human being on this earth and being able to understand climate change, being able to understand the problems due to the climate change, I think it's our duty to introspect, to retrospect, and understand the budget of our life and see what we are doing. I'm going to cover that in my further talk. Self-auditing is something which we are not really doing in this era of modern physics, modern developments. We are trying to make our lives extremely comfortable. Uh, but at what cost? That is the question to be asked. The mobiles are there. You can watch me Without my presence, you can listen to me. Well, advancement is there, advancement of science is there. But a small 120 nanometer long virus has held us for ransom. See, nature is always powerful. Nature knows its ways. It's not that I am saying that this is another pralay happening, but this is a warning given to us by nature that if you exceed your limits, Lakshman Resha sabko hoti hai. Lakshman Resha was not only for Sita. Lakshman Rekha is for every one of us. And it is our duty to understand that limit and never cross that limit. Einstein once said that I am afraid of the day when the technology will take over the human feelings and then the world will be ruled by idiots. And precisely that is happening today. We are running after money. We are running after the comfort. So much we are running after. What for? This world is so beautiful. This earth is so beautiful. Have we tried to really understand why we are here? I always say that the Panchatattva, whoever is the creator of this earth, he separated Atma Tattva and then they gave the body. Let us say the body of Sharad Kale or let us say the body of, say, Dr. Chandrasekhar Murumkar and asked that body to go on the earth, enjoy the creation because for the creator, for the Brahma, for the Panchatattva, earth is beautiful creation. So that Panchatattva is telling Atma Tattva, go to earth, enjoy this earth. But while going, you are going naked. While coming, you are coming naked. गदी माडगुळकर सेज येसी उघडा जासी उघडा कपड्यासाठी करीसी नाटक तीन प्रवेशांचे एक धागा सुखाचा 100 धागे दुःखाचे रिमेंबर दिस यू आर while coming here you are coming naked while going back you are going to go naked and what Panchatattva has told that I am giving this earth as a deposit to you. Mind you, without taking any kind of mortgage, this Panchatattva is giving the entire Vasundhara in your hand. And what is your duty? You have to pay interest on this deposit while going. For the 70 or 80 years or whatever lifespan you are going to get and you are going to enjoy on this earth, you have to give something in return. And that return is what? You have to make the earth more beautiful than when you came here. That is the interest which is expected. Are we doing that? And that's the question of self-budgeting I'm asking you. That can you answer that am I doing my duty? As Chandrasekhar Murumkar, am I doing my duty? As Sharad Kale, I am doing my duty. Or our very helpful technician, computer expert here, Mr. Rahul Shah, is he doing his duty? And that is what is expected of you. Whatever medium you are using, whether you are a computer engineer, whether you are a botanist, whether you are a microbiologist, you have to understand your uh, duties. You have to do you have to perform those duties by going beyond the call of your duties. And then you can say, की याच्यासाठी केला होता टास की शेवटचा दिवस गोड व्हावा. I will leave this earth which is far more beautiful than when I came. And that is what I called as self-auditing. And you know, scientists or the science students or science teacher are best suited for this because they understand what is science behind it. Unless you know the science, science is the religion. For me, science is the religion. For me, there is only one religion that is human. And human religion follows only one path, and that is of science. There are only two castes, one lady and one gent, not more than, उसके सिवा और कोई ज़्यादा caste नहीं है. And we will have to follow this particular principle while serving our country. And this is what I expect the teachers and the professors to convey to the younger generation. Look, you have come here to perform certain duty, not waste your time in forwarding messages on WhatsApp or just making some fun of coronavirus and cause some laughter here or there and spend your time. Time is so precious. In our country, what are the two important things which are wasted? One is time and the other is brain. Let us enjoy this earth with knowledge that we can contribute. Then the enjoyment becomes far more superior. About microbial diversity, have you thought what is the microbial diversity in your own body? First is what is microbe? Microbe or the protist, they are the ones which are microscopic or ultra microscopic. For viruses are ultra microscopic, they are nanometer long, and the bacteria are microscopic. You can't see with your own eyes. Leeuwenhoek was the one who first saw the microscopes, who saw microbes with the help of a microscope. Of course, as I told you in our literature, there is enough written about Das Bodh, as Ramdas Swami has written about extremophiles also, the bacteria which are present in Saptasindhu at the base. Probably he didn't know the name of Pacific, but he knew that there is something, some sea called Pacific, which is 10-kilometer deep. And he was surprised. He has written that in one of these samas, that how those bacteria must be resisting that extremely high pressure. I don't know. And that is what precisely is microbial diversity is. Now, coming back to what I am talking of, our own body, our own body mm, is made up of atoms. You are all aware of that. Being in atomic energy, I was very, at early age, attracted to the atomic energy. And this atomic energy gives you something like very nice uh, message. What is that atomic energy message? People are afraid of atomic energy. I am also always awed by that atom and the message which it gives us to continuously throughout our life. And what is that message? Your body is made up of 3 into 10 power of 12, that is 3 trillion cells. And these 3 trillion cells, each cell is made up of 10 to the power of 16 atoms. So your body contains 3 into 10 to the power of 28 atoms. And each atom gives you one beautiful message. When an atom loses its electron, it becomes positive. So when it loses negativity, it becomes positive. That's the basic message, that you be always positive. And that is what your own atom, out of your 3 into 10 to the power of 28 atom, each atom चिल्ला चिल्ला के आपको बता रहा है that you should become positive. You should become sakaratmak, what we call in Marathi. You should have that sakaratmak word every day written in big letters and follow that. You have to say, yes, I can do something. Sure, never should get despair. Never should waste your time in something which has not satisfied you. So try to go towards excellence. That is what your atom is telling. Now, that negativity is so bad that it has to give, unless that negativity is shared, the bond would not have formed. If the atoms were there and bond would not have formed, there were all the atoms in the world, but no moles, no bonds are formed. So no molecules, no cells, no individual. There would not have been any talk of Sharad Kale today for you, and there won't be any listeners to Sharad Kale because the bonds are not formed. So basically, sharing of these electrons is something which has created this world. Sharing of negativity. Sharing of negativity can form very firm bonds, and this is what precisely we have to see. Instead of finding out faults with people, instead of finding faults with system, we have to make those faults as our strong strength and make sure that we go forward rather than we get stuck or we come backwards. So that is what is life. And if we can do this as a scientist, I think we are much more equipped because of knowledge of science and because of this kind of philosophy. Yes, we have to go forward. So your body is containing 3 into the power of 10 to the power of 12 cells, that's a 3 trillion cell. But do you know that your body contains more microorganisms than your cell? There are 1.3 trillion bacteria in your body at any given time. 1.3 into 10 to the power of 12, that is 1.3 trillion. So your body is made up of almost 1.3 plus 1. that is 9 to 10 to the power of 12, I mean, 12, yes. So those many trillion cells, and 50% of your cells are human cells, 50% are microbial cells. You look at your gut, look at your nose, look at your teeth, you have all kinds of different microbial flora there. This microbial flora is making your life possible. Just imagine that these microbes were not there in your body. I don't think our life would have been possible. All your vitamins, all your growth factors which are required for your growth are supplied by these bacteria which are symbiotically living in our body. They get their own food source out of that. So it's a kind of beautiful symbiosis. So this whole world is of symbiosis. I think plant by botanists need not be uh, need not should not be explained about symbiosis. They know much better than this. So this symbiosis is happening uh, in your body, in your kitchen. You must have tasted beautiful idlis, you must have tasted beautiful curd, you must have tasted beautiful fermented products. All these are what? These are all microbial diversities. If you mix udid dal, which has got a good lactic culture, with soaked udid dal and soaked rice, you get good fermented product, which are rice and idli. Which are idli and dosa. If you want to make a beautiful idli, just follow one procedure. When you are mixing three parts of uh, rice and one part of udid dal, you also add one katori of cooked rice in that. And see, you can beat a Malayali or Tamilian housewife in making a softer and much flavored idli. In fact, in Madurai, if you go to Meenakshi temple, outside there is one idli house. Uh, that idli, it is one of the most famous idlis in the world. They have only two branches. One was in New York and one was in London, and third is in Madurai. So, first is in Madurai, the other two are there. So you can make that quality idli because you know why? When you are adding cooked rice, you are supporting the growth of Leuconosta, you are supporting the growth of Pediococcus into that, so that these two are the ones which are actually generating diacetyl and your idli, which is giving that batter particular flavor, and that flavor can't be beaten by any other artificial chemical. Let Chinese make any kind of products, they can't make this. Okay, this is the most natural product which is happening because of the small trick of adding cooked rice. There are so many fermented products. There are so many jams, so many pickles we make in India, and all these are products of your cheese, and these are all products of microorganisms. The soil, in fact, the base of this whole world, if you look, that is a immobilization and mineralization. Except these two basic reaction, nothing is happening in the world. This is immobilization is your photosynthesis reaction. 6CO2 plus 6H2O gives C6H12O6 plus 6O2. And the reverse reaction is C6H12O6, which is the mineralization reaction, gives 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy. And this is what the whole world is. The world is evolving around this immobilization and mineralization. And who is at this base of this? The microbes are there. And that's why microbial diversity is very important. Look at the extremophiles which are there in the world. There are organisms which are growing at 250 degrees Celsius. There are organisms, as I mentioned in the earlier few minutes, that they are at the base of Pacific, where the pressure is very, very high, hyperbaric, and how their proteins must be functioning, how their cells must be multiplying, what kind of protein they are making to protect from these hyperbaric conditions, what are the these thermal shock of 250 degrees Celsius. In some of these Gulf Stream, the temperatures are 250 degrees Celsius. And in that 250 degrees Celsius, you find some bacteria thriving, and we call them extremophile. I am sure they must be calling us extremophile. That अरे ये लोग को देखो इंसान ये 37 डिग्री पे रहता है. How can he when we can't stay at 37? I mean 37 we will die, and they are staying at 250. So what kind of biodiversity this world has created? See, it's a genetic biodiversity, it's a phenotypic biodiversity, it is the organ biodiversity. When imagination is very poor of a human being to understand biodiversity. Such a huge and vast topic of biodiversity, and it's a shame that we as a human being are really not able to maintain this biodiversity, and our climate change, our urbanization, our quest for more and more. What more you want? I don't know. If I got दो वक्त की रोटी मिले और एक अच्छा घर है, more than that you don't need much. You need only the mental satisfaction which comes through books, which comes through knowledge. We don't need, see, and that's what I meant to tell you, that we must understand this concept of Nisargarun, which I have been propagating it for last several years. We have to understand what nature has given you, how much nature has given you. These are the very bad days of Corona. Everybody is really worried about Corona, that the symptoms, and if they become very severe, you are striving for oxygen. And although oxygen is there in the body, it cannot reach. These are the type of symptoms because of the precipitation of iron. The oxygen level goes down, and person has to really suffer. So what do we do for this oxygen? This is what I want to ask you the question. We don't do anything. We don't even realize the importance of oxygen. Have you ever thought how much oxygen you need? You need every day 3 kilograms of oxygen. And nowadays, these ventilators and these are costing. There was a story of Italian person. I don't know whether it is true or false, but WhatsApp University these days said all kinds of nonsense. But this, I found some sensible thing in this, that Italian patient of 90 years was started crying when he saw the bill of ventilator, which was around few thousand euros. And then the doctor said, "Don't worry, you have got life, and you should thank Christ, Jesus Christ, for that." He says, "No, no, I'm not crying for that. I am crying that for last 90 years I never realized the importance of oxygen." And that's precisely the thing I want to tell you, that during your day, you are breathing 21,000 times, you are taking 3 kg oxygen. And in India, the oxygen is being sold now at the rate of 11,000 rupees kilo. So 33,000 rupees worth of oxygen you are using every day. For every breath of yours cost around 1.5 rupees. And I'm talking of only one element in your body, that is oxygen. If I start calculating the price of every element in your body, and mind you, there are 23 different elements in your body which need immobilization, which need mineralization continuously. Nature has to do a lot of investment, and this investment is in the form of biodiversity. If biodiversity was not there, this immobilization and mineralization would not have happened. And if that had not happened, life would not have sustained on this planet. Why life is sustained? Life is sustained due to the microbial diversity. Why life is sustained? Life is sustained because of the macro diversity. It's not only micro, these are all complementary to each other. And unless you understand this complementary nature and play your part, and what is your part? You must understand the real value. I'm not talking of money value, of real value of your three important requirements, that is air, water, and food. How easily we throw food in our today your seminar is virtual. If the seminar was actually happening, just imagine in the afternoon lunch how much of food is wasted by people who are educated, who are PhDs, who are MScs, who are teaching the next generation. They themselves leave a lot of things in their dish. What right you have got to leave some certain things in your dish? you are insulting three people. You are insulting the person who made it, your wife or your mother, or maybe whoever has done that food for you. You are insulting that person. You are insulting the farmer who has brought that food in your dish. You are insulting Mother Earth. So all these three insults you are easily doing by throwing food in your dish. And how easily you say that I am cultured, I am educated. No, you are not. Unless a person has anybody, can anybody answer me that you are environmental friendly? My definition of environmental friendly is a person or a house which doesn't give its waste material outside is environmental friendly. For last 45 years, I have not given a single gram of waste from my house to the outside. Nobody throws in our house food which is cooked food. My mother used to tell, "Khaun mazawa takun mazune." So there is no food wasted. Whatever this banana skin or the cucumber skin or whatever discard from the vegetable, we convert it into manure. I will give a mind-boggling business model also. If your house converts these whatever 300, 400 gram of waste material coming out of your kitchen into manure, you can generate something like 5 kilograms of manure. There are 30 crore houses in this world, I mean in this country. So 30 crore into 5, that is 150 crores of kilograms of extremely good organic manure will be made available, and have it multiplied by 12. So monthly, yearly, you are producing something like 1800 crore kilograms, and your urea requirement is much lesser than that. You can actually stop complete urea if you just manage 300 or 400 grams of your kitchen waste and then use it to convert manure. What you will have to do, like what has been done for milk, the milk collection centers are there, so you can do organic matter collection centers. Similarly, the AC water, which is flowing out of your air conditioners, now you got air conditioners everywhere. Then the water which is falling out of air conditioner, have you ever thought it is much better than distilled water? Have you ever thought have to taste it? Just taste it. It will have a pH of 7. It will have microbial count as 0. It will have organic matter 0. It will have the cation exchange capacity exactly like neutral water. So all the characteristics of not only distilled water but deionized water, demineralized water will be present in that AC water. And each AC produces in summer, and these ACs are working for more than 10 months in all the coastal cities of the country. And if there are, let us say, 5 crores of ACs working in our country, a minimum of 10 liters of water is generated from every AC every day. I am collecting it in various places, and I can tell you very authentically a good amount of water is collected. And this water, if you look in Amazon, and find out that the distilled water is being sold at the rate of 800 to 1000 rupees kilogram, and this I mean liter, and this is, we are talking of 50 crores of liters of water every day. It's another mind-boggling business proposal for you to consider and make use of it. Just all the colleges, if they collect the AC water, they can stop their distillation plants. So with folded hands, I request all of you to consider these various ways of conserving the natural resources and make sure that in this decade of biodiversity, we are contributing. See, if you conserve the natural resources and help them in proper immobilization and mineralization cycle, it's very good. One small poem I will read out to you, uh, just to have the, as I told you, self-budgeting or the retrospective way. I have, these days after retirement, I have got this, have, ज्याला आपण मराठी छंद म्हणतो की कविता लिहिण्याचा एक छंद मला लागलेला आहे. सो आय विल टेल यू one or two small poems before I end my talk. One poem says, क्या बदलाव आएगा? चांद पे तो पहुंच गए थे हम कई साल पहले, अब अंतरिक्ष नया नहीं है। पहुंचेंगे अब मंगल ग्रह पर, या शायद उसके आगे भी। आएगी कल बुलेट ट्रेन देश में हमारे, लेकिन क्या बदल सकेंगे हम खुद को? क्या करेंगे कूड़ा मुक्त अपने घर को? डंपिंग यार्ड बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं, धरती माँ को कब से तड़पा रहे हैं। ये धरती माँ को कब से तड़पा रहे हैं। घर का कचरा कचरे वाले को दे के घर तो स्वच्छ होगा मेरे मित्र, लेकिन क्या कभी सोचा है भारत स्वच्छ होगा? उसी कूड़े से आएगी ना कल के अनाज की बोरी। यही बतला रही ना पदार्थ के अविनाशित्व की कहानी। कूड़ा बाहर फेंकने से जहां दिन की शुरुआत होती है, वहां भारत बदलने की बात हो रही है। मेरा भारत महान, मेरा भारत महान। ये तो ये समस्या ही हर एक घर की समस्या है। और ये मैं आपको दोनों हाथ जोड़ के ये विनती इसलिए कर रहा हूँ की आप एज्युकेटेड लोक आहे. ज्याला आपण सुसंस्कृत म्हणतो, असे आपण सर्वजण आहोत. And if we don't understand this, if we don't implement this, if we don't teach this to our younger generation, who is going to teach? And this is what my worry is. And this is why I accepted the uh, invitation of Dr. Chandrasekhar Murumkar. He's become a good friend over a period of time, and I'm really happy that he keeps on organizing. He keeps on doing his duty, and I have seen him going beyond all of his duties. So all this is happening, and these are the silver linings which keep me moving, which keep me motivated. And I'm sure many of you who are listening to me will definitely take a message from my speech. And in this, I wish all the best for your seminar, and all of you will do a good job. Thank you very much. Namaskar.